Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin retired from the military, but he is not out of the fight. He serves as FRC's Executive Vice President after more than 36 years in the United States Army, where he commanded both the Delta Force and the Army's Green Beret. He spent his last 4 years as Deputy Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence at the Pentagon. He's an ordained minister who just wrote a new book, Man to Man, Rediscovering Masculinity in a Challenging World. General Boykin, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Tony. Glad to be here.
So good to have you here. And we opened earlier, for those that missed the opening of the program, he opened us in prayer. But I want to focus now on the military. The military, comparing 4 years ago to today, night and day difference.
Yeah, in the 8 years of the previous administration, there was a lot of devastation within our military readiness. And think in terms of readiness. Readiness for what? Readiness to win wars. And all the social experiments and all of those things that were nothing but distractors that took up time and money and resources, they did nothing to help us prepare to do that mission, winning the nation's wars. In comes a new president, Donald Trump, who says, first of all, we're going to win. You ever heard that phrase before from this guy? We're going to win. Tell me what rules of engagement you need to be able to win and defeat ISIS. And within, 18 months, ISIS was essentially decimated. And he said, tell me what materiel you need in order to win. He increased the military budget. Our military is much better off today. Now, there are still some problems. There's some legacy problems, and that is there's some leaders within our military today that were promoted under the regime or the administration of Barack Obama, who selected, I think, a lot of his senior leaders based on whether they would support his agenda, rather than whether they had good combat records or good reputations as leaders.
And we've seen that in the area of religious freedom, because in fact, just last week, we saw the Department of Defense adopting finally new guidelines based upon the May 2017 executive order from the president. So it's been a long time in coming. There's certainly a course correction, but there's still problems there.
There's still problems there, and look, you know, in the Family Research Council, one of the things that we've done in running this coalition that you told us to establish back in 2013 to protect religious liberty infringements. We've still had a lot of work to do, even in this administration, because you've still got a lot of those legacy leaders that haven't yet picked up on the fact that the sea state has changed.
It's going to take another 4 years to clean it, because you got what's in the pipeline, and the military kind of takes a while. But let me ask you this question. I think this is the defining question. Is America safer today under this president and our present military than we were 4 years ago?
Yeah, and it's not just our military. It's our foreign policy. The fact of the matter is that our president has stood up to thugs. He's stood up to some of these despots. And look, don't think for a minute that it's insignificant that he has Arab Muslim nations now signing peace agreements with Israel, their sworn enemy. That makes the world a lot safer, and there are more to come. And you and I have both talked to people in the administration that have told us there are more coming. Don't think for a minute that what we've done with Iran, pulling out of that Iran deal and making it much more difficult for them to get a nuclear weapon, doesn't make the world safer. It makes it absolutely safer all over the world, not just for America and its allies, but all over the world. And standing up to China, standing up to North Korea. Look, there's still problems. There's still threats.
It's still a dangerous world.
It's a dangerous world that we live in. But we're much safer as a nation, and certainly our allies are much safer now because of the way his foreign policy, as well as his focus on military readiness, has been so improved over what we saw previously.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question. There's been some, recently, as we move into this election, we've seen some retired generals that have been critical of President Donald Trump.
Yeah, and look, they have the right to do that, and I certainly don't agree with them, but I would also say that, as you are well aware, we just got a letter out with over 153 signatures of retired generals, retired admirals, all services to include the Coast Guard, saying we stand with Donald
And you
Trump.
let the Marine Corps in there too?
Unfortunately, we had to let the Marines sign the thing, but it was in crayon, so we couldn't actually show the thing on television because it was embarrassing. But we had a lot of Marines that signed it.
When you look at this president and what he has done for the military, and you see, like you just mentioned, over 150 retired military leaders, but you get 2 or 3, and that's who the media gives a platform to.
That's right.
I mean, pretty obvious.
No surprise there. But look, these are, in some cases, these are guys that got their stars under Barack Obama. And they're acolytes of Barack Obama. And some of them are just people who are just liberals. They have always been liberals, except maybe for their focus on the military and military readiness. They've been liberals in terms of the rest of their politics. And then some of them just don't like the president. Some of them are just so turned off by his tweets and other things.
Quite frankly, you know, you're my favorite general, all right? But you know, you and I have been through a lot of battles going all the way back to the don't ask, don't tell of Barack Obama.
That's right.
And one of my disappointments was the lack of courage among some retired generals to fight these battles. And I think what part of this is Donald Trump has more courage to fight political battles and cultural battles than our generals have the stomach for.
There's no question about that, and we need to keep in mind when these generals retire, if they choose to do so, they've got some pretty good opportunities out there in the business world, in corporate boards and that type of thing. And if they become too political, or if they take the wrong side on an issue, or support the wrong party or the wrong candidate, that could mean that they lose a lot of money, and a lot of them are more focused on that money than they are on the future of this nation.
Can I say that's why I respect you so much?
I've never made any money.
Well, but you could have, because you're an American hero. And
thank you.
You have served this country faithfully, and all of us owe you a debt of gratitude for your service.
Thank you very much, Tony. I appreciate that.
And folks, we have a duty to do as well, to pray, to vote, and to stand. And for all of those men and women who have put everything on the line, and all of those men who have sacrificed so much over the years to both win our freedoms and to preserve those freedoms, we all have a duty to protect them by using them.